It is Wednesday, day 9, which would also be week 9. Alright, and so then today we worked on covered technology basics, did a little bit about background for websites, covered some more HTML, cascading style sheets. We did some work on domain names. We did not get really anything done on WordPress today, and we talked about the interviews. I'm getting those lined up for the next few weeks. Alright, let's just take a look a little bit at what I wrote on the board. We talked about websites, and our next step in Unit 4, okay, so you should look at Unit 4. There are 2 assignments that are due next Wednesday. They're actually due Tuesday night at midnight. Okay, so they're actually due on Tuesday. So remember to look at those and get something done with that. Alright? It has to do with content. You know, content for the website, now that we understand how websites work, you put text in your website, and then is it your text or are you getting the text from somewhere else? If you're getting it somewhere else, do you need to cite it? Okay? Probably. Images, same thing. Are they free to use or not? Video, audio, animation. All those things fulfill the content of your website. This is extremely important. The content is important, okay? Because it's what's in the website. Now, design is important, how it looks, but what you say is the bottom line, or what you're trying to do or convince or whatever. So, we want to be aware of that. Then, we did some more work on the HTML. I'm not going to go through all the specifics on our web server right here on campus. So here's the private address, the one we use when we're in a classroom. And the public address is this one. That's one you could use remotely, okay, to access your information. Then we got talking about, yeah, it's hard to remember that number. We could give that a domain name. We talked about DNS servers, domain name servers, okay. And then we looked up domain and hosting. So let's talk about that a little bit more. We talked about you can have your information hosted on a website somewheres, a web server. Okay, they'll give you some space on their hard drive, and they'll tell you how much you can send back and forth from there and here, and so they'll give you some limits, and it depends on how much you want to spend. And then people can access your information there. And the hosting can host it if you want to put your own WordPress, right? Your own WordPress there, or if you're just developing using HTML. And we're going to look at that a little bit every day we meet. Okay? So they looked at getting a domain name and how much it would cost to host. I show them an example. Mine is approximately $8 a month. Approximately $8 a month. Okay? Oh, by the way, I should mention here too, we talked about, we looked at getting connected into NIACC, our ISP, and then how there's a router here that does network address translation. It takes this private address, which is this one, and it converts it to a public address, which is this one. That's the public address that goes out into the internet. Okay? This web server is connected. It has this private address and this public address. For example, today when we went out the internet, everybody got a 207.165.226.97. Okay, everybody use that while they're on the internet. You'll notice this first part here and the first part here are the same. Alright, we'll go over that more each day. We'll actually do that each day. So then, when you're at home, your computers are on some type of a private address at your house, but they use a public address when they go out to the internet. So if you're at Cabin Coffee on your laptop, you know, maybe you're on your laptop doing some work, or you're on your phone doing some work and you hook into their Wi-Fi, you get a private address here, and then you will share a public address going to the internet. Okay? Same thing with web servers. You got to have an IP address to find the web server, right? No matter where it is. So it's much easier to do domain name services and give your address, your IP address, a name and link them together. And we looked at that together in class. Okay? And then the last thing I'll mention here is we talked a little bit about design. There's an assignment where you do design, where you show kind of what your main page looks like and maybe what sub pages you're going to have, and then are they going to have some sub pages, and a little bit of how it's going to look on the pages, at least how you want it to look. And then what we're doing for the project is being done in WordPress. You can start experimenting. One thing you should be experimenting with in WordPress are themes. You know, different themes for your site. And that's it for today.